Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of Coolio Jeff's HeartGold walkthrough. So, here we start off, where we left off, here in, New Barktown, and I've got my Cyndaquil, and he's following me, and I'm about to begin my Pokemon journey. Okay, sorry. So, anyways, I'm leaving, and Professor Elm comes over, and he's just like blah 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 blah, and basically he just gives me his number for the phone that I have, so he can call me. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so I'm just walking down. It's the classic map from Gold and Silver, and yeah, so it's basically the same as it was before, except, just more vibrant colors, better graphics, and all that janks. So, okay, so I'm just taking the long way over here, because if you go over here to the right before you head left, you're going to find a Pokeball, which contains a potion, as you can see there. So, we get the potion, and it goes in the medicine bag. And I think this is actually a better way to get there anyway, because you got that little patch at the top. There's a bunch of missing patches, so you don't have to run into wild Pokemon like Super Rattatatas. So, okay, so here's my first battle, and there's an English patch on this, so the battles and all of the sequences will be in English, which is awesome, because I can understand it. So this Super Rattata does Ratatata. I hate that name. It's awful. Ratatata. Anyway, so he's like super awesome and does 6 damage first turn, and he's like better than my Cyndaquil. So okay, so wild Pokemon, they're always kind of dumb, going for stuff like Tail Whip. I mean, it's kind of gross. He's like whipping me with his like purple tail. It's just kind of weird. So for some reason he likes to use Tail Whip multiple times. But anyway, so I kill him without him doing more damage to me. So I get a bunch of experience from the Super Rattata because he's just super. You know what I'm saying. So anyway, okay, so I just can keep going, and here you gotta go left. And if you go up on this route, you can find some guys like Spearow and some other guys. So yeah, if that's something you're into. If that's a guy you want to have for your team, be my guest. Go ahead and go up there. I mean, you can't catch him yet, of course, since I don't have Pokeballs. But once you get those, yeah, feel free to go up there and see what guys you can find up there. So, okay. So here we are coming into the first town in Johto, besides Newbark. And this old guy approaches you, and this is kind of like the guy at the end of the other, you know how there's like a guy in Newbark who's like, don't go into the wild grass. This guy's just kind of like creeping around, like looking for people to come in so we can just show them around the city. And I sped this part up just because it's really long and annoying. You're just following this old guy who strangely looks like he's floating. It's kind of funny, like when he moves around it looks like he's floating, not like he's walking. But anyway, I just thought that was kind of funny. So then he's like, this is my house, drop by any time. Kind of like that creepy old guy from Family Guy. It's how I think of him. So anyway, so yeah, so now I have my running shoes, which is actually awesome. It's weird, they just have some random old guy give you a pair of running shoes. But, okay, so, this is just the new Pokemon Center. It's got staircases, 2 staircases to go up to, like, the, second level where you can do wireless trades, and then, of course, the, Wi-Fi is downstairs, which I don't have access to yet. So, okay, so I heal my Cyndaquil, my little hottie, and then I come outside and just go into the mart, but through the power of editing, I'm suddenly outside the mart. So, yeah, the mart's the same, so there's no reason to, like, show me going in there and just getting, like, potions and stuff. So, okay, so the old guy comes back and he's like, no, don't leave me. Because he's, yeah. Okay, anyway, I'm not even going to go there. But, okay, so for some reason he gives me his number, too. So that's kind of weird in my opinion. It's just kind of creepy. But anyway, okay. So he gives me his number and then he runs off or floats away or whatever you want to call it. And I'm like, okay. So I just keep walking, and I encounter another wild Pokemon. So here's a Pidgey, and he's level 4. He's looking pretty good. So I don't know if I can take this guy on. So yeah, I'm just gonna flee. So I go to the left. As you saw, there's a Pokeball, but I didn't feel like going through the grass because I'm lazy. Even though I probably wouldn't have encountered anything, just because it was so few steps. But anyway, okay. So I get another potion, which is nice. And then I come up here, and if you guys have noticed, there's like that weird tree right next to the house with like this green circle, and those are acorns, as most of you guys have probably already figured out. But you need to talk to this guy to get the key item that lets you hold the apricorns, or acorns, they're apricorns or whatever. Sorry, I think I said acorns earlier. But okay, so he gives you that, which is kind of random. I kind of think it's funny how just random people give you stuff in this game. And then you can come over to this tree and you like hump it a bit, and it wiggles and it's like, ooh, yeah, and it pops out this apricorn, maybe as some payment for your services. Okay, that was kind of weird. Anyway, so yeah, the animation for getting the apricorns is a bit strange, but okay, so here I encounter a level 2 Pidgey, which I'm feeling it. This is more my level of what I think I can take on. So I start tackling it, and it never does anything because tackle sucks. But Pidgey can't really do anything to me because he's level 2. So okay, so he's tackling me, and I'm tackling him, and we're all just a big tackling family. Okay, so I gained some more experience points and level up, yes! Okay, so I grew to level 6 and my stats are awesome! Okay, anyway, so I gain stats and stuff, and then I come up here, get this Pokeball, which is an antidote, cures poison and stuff. And I thought it was kind of cool that they kept the old way that kept you from passing this route. There's 2 guys, one guy with a Rattata, one guy with a Pidgey, and they're duking it out with their super strong Pokemon. But anyway, they're blocking the roads because they're morons. So I like to take the left path up here because there's a lot less grass, even though at the beginning the right seems like there's less grass to run through. So here I just, hump another tree, and a pink berry comes out this time, and that's pretty cool, getting those green and pink apricorns coming out of trees that you hump. Okay, so you go in here, and this is Mr. Pokemon's house, and he comes over, and he's like, oh my gosh, exclamation point, and he brings you up here, and he goes over to his bookshelf and grabs the Togepi egg that he gives you to give to Professor Elm, who eventually gives it back to you, which is really random, and okay. So he gives that to you, and then he heals your Pokemon, which is, I guess they figured, like, going through the grass, you're going to be weakened a bit. But, okay, so that's just what the blackness was for. I wasn't, like, editing over something, because that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so then, for some reason, Professor Oak just happens to be here when you're at Mr. Pokemon's house. He's like, oh, this is a very unique specimen of Cyndaquil, and then he's like, I'll randomly give you a Pokedex. You know how these things happen. It's like the running shoes guy, just kind of happens. Okay, so he gives you a Pokedex, and you're like, yay, Pokedex, even though it's kind of a hassle, catching all the Pokemon. I personally don't really like it. I mean, it's not that I don't like it, just, you guys know, it gets frustrating trying to get everybody, which, yeah, okay. So he leaves, and so apparently he was just there to give you a Pokedex, even though he didn't know you were there in the first place, which is weird. So then you come out here, and you get a call from Professor Elm, and exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. He's obviously saying, oh no, somebody broke into the lab. So yeah, we're going to find out who that is next time on the 3rd episode of HeartGold.